Hi, in this video I'll be covering this insane game from the 2025 FIDE Grand Swiss between Nordirbek Yakubbeov and Alireza Firouzja. It starts after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4 going into in Italian. But after knight f6, instead of the typical d3, we get knight to g5. And here we can tell, we can tell this is going to be a fighting game. Uh, After d5, pawn takes, knight a5, bishop b5 check, we are following uh, one of the main lines, and here's after c6 takes, pawn takes. Instead of retreating the bishop to d3 or e2, uh, where white would be a pawn up, but black has good compensation because of his activity, Firouzja plays queen f3, and here it looks like black can't take the bishop because the rook is hanging. And yeah, bishop e7 is the move here. And black is objectively equal here too, but Yakubbeev decides that uh, he doesn't really care about his rook in the corner, and he's going to take on b5 anyways. And after queen takes a8 and queen c7, black is arguing that despite him being down an exchange and a pawn, White's lack of development uh, is his biggest issue, and that's um, and Black's lead in development is worth just as much as White's material advantage, and indeed it is because the engine says that this position is equal. But after Queen f3, um, it's like if you give White a few more moves, he's gonna develop and consolidate and be completely winning. So Black has to go for the kill, and he has to keep putting pressure on White, which is why he didn't take the pawn on c2, which is free, but it just allows White to keep developing, and it wastes a critical tempo, just grabbing a pawn. And well, Black doesn't really care about material right now. That's why he's playing like this. So he plays knight c6, which is an important move, trying to get to d4 and activate the knight, which was doing nothing on a5. We get c3, uh, stopping the knight from jumping, but after bishop g4, queen g3, once again, Nordirbek says, yeah, I don't care if you're trying to stop me, I'm going to do this anyways. And he plays knight d4 because the bishop on c1 will be hanging if pawn takes, and this will actually be uh, a sad checkmate. But instead we get knight a3, defending c2 from the threat of knight c2 check. And here black can't take on a3 immediately, trying to play check after pawn takes, because white won't take back the bishop on a3. Instead, he'll take on d4, and now the bishop on c1 is defended by the rook on c1, the rook on a1. So we get knight e2, and this just is like visually like you would. This is just a odd move, but it's the best move, and it's just the knight sitting on e2. Well, it does have a square on f4, so it's completely fine. But black is, for the time being, stopping away from castling and attacking the queen, gaining another tempo. And now after bishop takes, pawn takes, he plays knight f4. And after castles, uh, which is probably the best way to defend g2, we get knight d5, attacking the queen again, queen e4, f5, and queen b1. And you can tell uh, White's position isn't White's position, if not for the material advantage, would be completely losing because his pieces are just not doing anything, and he needs to be uh, careful and try to consolidate before Black just crushes him. But Black played h6 here, which allows the very strong knight to e6. And the point is, white would like to play queen b5 check here, queen takes b5, but after king e7, um, there's really no good follow-up. But here, after knight e6, white deflects the knight from the defense of the white deflects the f4 knight from the defense of the d5 knight. And after knight takes e6, queen b5, king e7, queen d5, white managed to eliminate a pair of knights and is maybe getting on track with his development because obviously here in this position, white would love to just trade off everything because he's up an exchange and whenever you're ahead in material, it's basic rule. Uh, Trading will always be beneficial for you. So we get knight f4, queen b3, and rook b8. And after queen c2, despite the fact that uh, white, like if we gave white a few more moves again, once again, like he would be fine. He would be winning because he would like develop his pieces, and uh, then he would just be up material. So black has to act immediately, and he does with the move bishop f3. And the point of this move is that the bishop is untouchable because after pawn takes and queen c6, there's no way to stop checkmate. Black can take on f3 or play queen g6 followed by queen g2, and uh, white just is lost if he takes on f3, which is why we got the move d4 and trying to just finish their development and, if possible, trade off the knight, after which white would be just winning. So here we get knight e2 check, sidestepping the trade, and after king h1, queen c6, and rook g1, uh, white seems to be holding the position together. And the point of rook g1 is black can't take on g1 because of queen takes g5. Queen takes f5, which is a really odd move, or a really hard move to find, because the natural king takes g1 uh, would lose to queen g6, where now black has regained most of the material and he has a crushing attack. But if queen takes f5, um, bishop g2 check, and now king g1, the difference is black's king is the one that's weak now, and white has a small advantage here, which is why knight g1 wasn't played, but it would have been better than the game move rook to f8. And the issue with rook to f8 is that it allows white, after a sequence of moves, to win the bishop on f3, because he can't do it now, because after g takes f3, queen takes f3, and rook g2, rook f6. After rook g6, um, black should be black has an unstoppable attack, and white can only make a draw here by probably playing queen a4 and taking, and then trying to make a repetition, or you just keep checking until something comes up. But here, the move in the game is strong, a4. But another option was the move pawn to d5. And the point of pawn to d5 is that after queen takes c4, queen c6, now if white takes and rook g2, rook f6, queen b3 wins an important tempo because you're threatening to trade queens, and here white is winning because his defense is working. So the move a4 also wins after rook f6, getting out of bishop a3 check, the skewer after bishop a3 check, and now nonetheless bishop a3 check, king e8 and d5, queen takes, rook d1, queen c6, and queen b3. This is where the game finished because black resigned, and there's no really good way to meet queen b8 check, and white is too active for black to do anything, and that's why we got the resignation. And this was a crazy game, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.